Hello and welcome back to HardReset.Info. In this video I will show you how to edit photos on Samsung Galaxy S25 FE. Let's begin! The photo for today's episode will be a very beautiful photo family. Well, actually family photo. We have a very caring father, a very beautiful mother and their lovely child. Of course I'm using the father as hostage right now. Okay, let's get into the editing, okay? So we can start editing by clicking the pencil icon, and here we can do a bunch of very simple things. For example, we can crop certain parts of the picture if we want to. So for example, now we can get into more specific parts in this photo. We can also flip it horizontally. We can straighten it, which will just rotate it slightly, which is also a very nice feature. We can also move it kind of horizontally, giving us this weird illusion, which is pretty interesting to see at least. And we can do the same for vertical, so we can do something like this or something like this. Once again, very specific functions, but maybe you will find a use for it. Now we also have some filters. So for example, we can go into auto filter, breeze, pulse, crystal, shiver, chill, glow, amber, sunbeam, shadow and shade. As you can see, there are plenty to choose from. We have also typical light balance. So for example, we can bump it up or darken it down. So now this is a tragic family photo. You can do the same by going into brightness. Once again, very tragic, very sad. We have exposure, which will do, once again, very similar thing. Contrast, so now we can bump up the contrast or lower it down. We can bump up the highlights, though it's not as visible because of the low contrast, which is pretty cool. Finally, we also have the shadows, the saturation, and if we set saturation to -100, this will basically turn the photo black and white, so that's pretty cool. We also have tint, which will scroll through every single color in the RGB wheel. So now we have this slightly green photo. Now we have the temperature with the cold and reddish colors, the sharpness of the image, which basically now looks like some sort of photo camera footage from security camera. And finally we have definition, which will change something. I actually have no idea what this changes. Finally we have some filters. Oh sorry, we have the ability to draw, so you can like draw some goofy things here, like you can draw another plant. Beautiful, I'm a big artist. Or you can add some custom stickers, like the X, so now the child is hunted and will die soon. And also we can get some text, like family's life. Wow, beautiful. It's just peak art. And of course we also have these 4 dots. And now we have few AI options like object eraser. We have a lasso, spot color, color mix and style. If we go to style, we can transform it into something else like color pencil. These are basically some funny filters like this one, watercolor blue ink. I'm not entirely sure if this even like uses, I don't think this actually uses AI, but this is pretty nice. For example, this looks weird, this looks very fancy. We have some oil painting, pen and wash, and finally the cubist. Once again, I'm going to stick with the original just for clarity, but once again there are plenty of ways for you that you can play around with. And finally we have some AI tools, which can be found by clicking this AI button. And now we have generative edit and sketch the image. The generative edit is a very powerful feature. So now let's say that the father has cheated on the mother, and mother now actually is the only mother, and the father is like, the father shouldn't be here. And if we want to get rid of the father, we can simply circle it around like this. As you can see, it did spot our father pretty well. Now we can just hit erase button, but I can actually see that a part of the photo is still here, so I want to make sure that we have this disabled. Oh, can I please? Oh, thank you. Let's disable this as well. And now we can hit generate. And now we should see a beautiful photo with a lonely mother and her beautiful child and no father. And as you can see, it's looking amazing. Like seriously, we can hit done and we can go into save copy. And now we have 2 copies of the same image, though remember that this one has some custom filters to it, while this one does not. Sorry for removing the phone. But that's obviously not all. We can go once again into the generative edit. Now we can, for example, circle around our child, and now we can move it. So we can, for example, make it so now the child is a grown-up, is an edgy teenager now, and it's much bigger. Of course, we can also rotate it if we want to, but I'm going to increase it in size. And let's hit generate. And now we'll get a nice family photo after some years. The plant is now ready to leave its cozy house and spread its own wings. Of course, as you can see, this isn't looking very good. This looks very basic, but once again, it's pretty cool that AI tries to. Personally, I'm using this feature as a way to move things and not to increase them in size. Maybe like smalling them will be pretty cool. But anyway, we can now go once again into this photo, and this time let's go into sketch to image. So let's say that we want to make an alternative universe in which the mother, and like she is alone now, she has a child, but she doesn't have any kind of male that could, well, maybe do some nice things lately at night. So let's make her a very good cacti for her. So let's make this. Okay, I'm really bad at drawing, so let me pause the video. So as you can see, I drew her a very muscular, tall cacti that will save her from that nasty old cheater. And let's see what AI will do to it. I'm hoping for something really cool. Hopefully, most surely. And yeah, that's looking suspicious to say at least, but it does look pretty okay. So let's go to save copy. And now we have all the universes. We basically have the bad universe, the original one, in which we have a tragic tale of a family that gets fallen apart, and then the mother finds her a new husband. And the alternate dimension that can be unlocked by buying the DLC pack for only 29/99 cents, in which the family is still happy and the son has grew and is now a very beautiful teenager. Yeah, that's beautiful. That's art. That's the storytelling. Oh my god. But anyway, with that story, you now also know how to edit photos on Samsung Galaxy S25 FE. My god, it's historic. Meteoric. Anyway, that's all for this video. If you found it useful, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching. See you next time.